All the crew of this huge ship vanished off the face of the earth, but everything on the ship was intact. The captain of the British ship suddenly noticed a ghost ship standing in the distance. Everyone, including the captain, was surprised to see the ship standing still, facing the Atlantic Sea's waves. As they approached the ship, they saw that there were no crew or mark of life anywhere on the ship, and yet, everything is perfect. Then where did all the crew members go? Did they die? Or are they still living among us, and we don't know? Did pirates attack? Or did the passengers find a wormhole and time travel? If there was a pirate attack on board, then why is everything literally unharmed? In this video, we're going to taste a bit of mystery and history together. I'm talking about the Mary Celeste. The ship, at first it was named Amazon, was built in Canada in 1861. Several supernatural events happened to the ship from the beginning. Let's dive into the main event. Captain Benjamin Briggs took over the Amazon in 1872. Her name was changed to Mary Celeste. The ship, carrying 1,700 barrels of industrial-grade ethanol, set sail from New York to Genoa, Italy. The Mary Celeste carried 7 crew members, including the captain, his wife, and a 2-year-old child. In front of this fleet of 10 people is a long way of 7,500 kilometers. At the time we're talking about, there was no such thing as a modern GPS system like today. The journey began. 3 weeks later, Mary Celeste vanished, and there was no trace of Mary. What happened to the Mary Celeste? Did it collide and sink? 10 days after Mary's departure, De Gratia left for Gibraltar. On December 4, 1872, the captain of De Gratia spotted a ship in the sea. "By God, she's the Mary Celeste," the captain cried out, instantly identifying the missing Mary Celeste by her ropes and partly loaded deck. More than a month ago, Captain Briggs' ship vanished while traveling from New York to Genoa. No wreckage was discovered, but it was assumed to be lost at sea. Looked at his first mate, who grimly nodded in response to his troubled gaze. They were both aware that being missing at sea might often be far worse than sinking. Captain sent the first signal. There was no answer to it. No, they weren't busy partying as you can think that there were 1,700 barrels of booze. If not, then why didn't they respond to the signal? When he got closer, De Gratia's captain saw that it was his friend, Captain Benjamin Briggs' ship, the Mary Celeste, which had left New York about a month earlier for Genoa, Italy. All through the long night, they searched by lantern light, combing every nook and cranny for insight. Yet Celeste clung to her horrible secret, revealing nothing more of the fate of Briggs and his crew. By dawn, an exhausted Morehouse called his men to regroup aboard De Gratia, knowing they must spread the word of this mystery at once, whilst the trail, if any survived, remained fresh. They found no sign of life. Even the 2-year-old child was also missing. Everything was so untouched that it didn't even look like the pirates had attacked. It is absolute that if pirates had attacked on the ship, there'd be bloodshed, and they'd see the wrecked situation, right? If pirates didn't attack the ship, what happened to those people? Fortunately, a logbook was found in Mary's captain's cabin. There's a faint glimmer of hope. It is good to say that in those times, all the ship's information was kept in the logbook, and the captain of the ship records everything in that logbook. Surprisingly, the last entry in the logbook was on November 25th, 1872. It was 10 days before Mary Celeste came to the captain's attention. For these 10 days, the Mary Celeste stood silently in the heart of the sea, facing the waves. Those who have a bit of an idea about the waves of the sea, or those who haven't, do you really think a ship can stand still in a place like the Atlantic? She's a ghost ship, Captain, first mate reported. Disbelief writ clear upon all their faces. Not a living soul and nary a sign of how or why they came to abandon her. Even the captain's logbook ends. Nothing amiss appeared, and yet the portent of doom could not be denied. Briggs was no craven to flee without cause, nor endanger passengers and crew without grave peril demanding their escape. De Gratia's captain recalled the Captain Briggs' steady reputation, honed through years of service to fortune and family. Something dire must have happened, but what it could be defied reason. There were no lifeboats or navigational instruments on board. The captain's sword was also found sheathed. According to the International Salvage Act, if someone saves a ship, he will be rewarded with the same amount of money as that ship's worth. So De Gratia took Mary up to Gibraltar. Then the matter went to court. However, after several hearings, no one can solve the mystery of the disappearance of the 10 crew members of this ship. In the meantime, the myth of the Mary Celeste began to spread. Some say that the devil came down from the sky and took everyone away, while others say that the giant sea monster ate everyone. A few things have happened to Mary in the past that have caused a bit of a stir that time around. On one occasion, the Mary Celeste was lightly rammed by another ship, and that ship sank. Again, when Mary is brought into port for repairs, the entire shipyard is reduced to ashes. It is said that once before the start of the journey, the captain of Mary fell into the lap of death without any forewarning. All those stories might seem like a miracle, but the vanishing of 10 people is just not a miracle. Rather, it is a mystery. Now let's get to the end of the story. There are several theories about the disappearance of the entire crew of the Mary Celeste, and the first one is this. Desperate for the salvage law reward, De Gratia's captain and crew killed all of the Celestas and set up a new drama. But the question arises, why was there not a drop of blood on the ship. Some might think that the Decratia's captain left no trace of blood and made the deck clean and shiny. Another theory is that Mary set sail with 1,700 barrels of ethanol, but when she reached Gibraltar, there were 9 barrels less. Many believed that the crew died due to the barrel blast, but there was no sign of an explosion on the ship. The last theory is that when there was a storm in the middle of the sea, Captain Briggs took everyone in the boat and fled from the ship, but his boat could not withstand the storm and sank into the sea. All of these are theories. None of them are proven true. But time changes and science improves. As you can remember, 9 barrels of ethanol were missing. On the basis of that info, a model of the Mary Celeste was constructed by Dr. Andrea Seller of UCL Chemistry. He'd set up an explosion from alcohol seeping out of the ship's cargo using butane gas. Using paper cubes instead of wooden barrels was his strategy. When the gas was lit, a massive explosion occurred, shooting a ball of flame skyward. Without a doubt, the duplicate grasp would be broken or the paper cubes would burn or turn black. Interestingly, neither took place. According to Dr. Seller, what we created was a pressure wave type of explosion. The air behind the amazing wave of flame was comparatively cold, but there was no burning or scorching, and no soot was left behind. Considering all we know, this is a duplicate of the conditions aboard the Mary Celeste. For everyone on board, the explosion would have been absolutely horrifying and powerful enough to blow open the hatches. A spark from 2 loose barrels rubbing against one another, or a negligent crew member opening a hatch with a pipe in his mouth to ventilate the hold during the exhausting journey from New York to Italy, could have produced such a large explosion. 300 gallons of alcohol had escaped, according to records, which is more than enough to cause a catastrophic explosion. According to Dr. Seller, it is the most compelling explanation of all those suggested. It fits the facts best and explains why they were so keen to get off the ship. But still, 150 years later, the story of the disappearance of the entire crew of the Mary Celeste is considered an unsolved mystery. If you crave more mysterious tales of historical events, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you for staying until the very end. You're a curious person, and we love you. Fuel your passion with your comments, or drop your questions below. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.